listening to the Positive Professional Podcast with your host, me, Tracy Yvonne. This podcast is a weekly conversation about all things mental health, self-care, and wellness. And there'll be sprinkles of positivity, mindfulness, and guided meditations. Have you heard of Verbal? Verbal is an audio streaming destination for all types of audio creators like myself, and anyone that loves listening to audio. Verbal supports audio creators through their station model and helps listeners connect to meaningful content to listen to. And a few other things that makes Verbal special is the unique creator tools such as snippets and playlists, better discovery, streaming, it's free, and users can start monetizing right away by joining the Ambassador program or with only 1,000 station listens a month. I'm proud to say that I'm a Verbal Ambassador, a chosen thought leader in the category of mental health. And you can learn more as well as check out my podcast station and my curated mental health playlist at www.verbal.com. That's www.verbl.com. Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 15. And today I'm going to talk about resiliency and positivity that go hand in hand. And it's hard to imagine being resilient without being positive. Some people can be resilient in their negativity, and we all know someone who's like that. However, in the long run, that negative behavior will sap the energy out of them. You cannot thrive for very long in an environment filled with negativity. You will lose resiliency in this environment. When you project a positive outlook, others will follow along. And people are attracted to this outlook and will want to make it continue. While some people will be attracted to others who are negative, on a whole, they prefer positive people. And when this happens, you will be resilient by bringing others along. When you are positive, you are more likely to look for solutions to problems. When you are negative, you're more likely to look for excuses. And how can you be resilient when you're looking for excuses? Nothing will get done, which means that you're going to hold yourself and others back. Plus, if you are one to look for excuses constantly, guess what? Others are going to catch on to this and avoid you. For example, if you do this in your job, it could eventually lead to your dismissal. And let's just say it's something that you get fired over, guess what? There's no way for you to be resilient. Being positive doesn't mean that you should never complain. Sometimes you need to point out weaknesses where you know they exist. However, positive people tend to offer up alternatives which make them part of the solution. Imagine if several such people offered up alternatives. Solutions would surface quickly, wouldn't they? In contrast this to excuse makers, they never find solutions. So think back to positive and negative times in your life. When were you happier, negative or positive? It's likely that you chose positive times as being happier. And it's also likely that you are the most productive during this time. By extension, being productive means that you were resilient, and it all came from that positive attitude. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about helping others to be more resilient. Today's episode is brought to you by Ivy Elite Training. Are you looking for low-cost professional development workshops, topics like emotional intelligence, diversity and inclusion, and more? Then visit www.ivyelitetraining.com. That's www.ivyelitetraining.com. Are you a resilient person? Are you able to face challenges and not be afraid to do what it takes to solve them? If so, you're a prime candidate to help others do the same. People are capable of being resilient. However, for one reason or another, they're not. And this lack of resilience can prevent people from facing life's challenges. They will find themselves constantly struggling to stay ahead. And as a resilient person, you can help guide others to do the same. Helping this way is rewarding, but not without its challenges. So let's just say when you find a family member or a friend who's not resilient, you want to be able to discover why. Maybe get this person to talk about their lives, but you're not going in too deep and trying not to pry too much. Remember, you can only do so much to help people. They have to take action for themselves. Now, if there was a time that you felt that you were not as resilient as you are now, you can try to relate that experience to the person. Think back to what was holding you back and use it as a guide. Also, try to remember how you overcame the problem. Your solutions can be the action steps you present to the person you're helping. And learning how to be more resilient requires changes within. But this doesn't happen overnight. You will need to be patient. And it may never happen, and you need to accept that. Remember, not everyone deals with change the same. And some people cannot handle change at all, which means that you might not be able to help them. And you may feel sad, but there's not much that you can do about it. But simply let them know that you're available when they're ready, and you can leave it at that. You can also think about helping people to accomplish small victories. The victories may be small, but they can set the stage for more challenging tasks later. Instead of trying to tackle something large and difficult, let the person tackle something easy. They will then see that the effort required wasn't as bad as they thought, and they may be ready for bigger challenges later. It's okay to keep presenting the smaller ones until they get comfortable, and then you can increase the difficulty of the challenges. And when you've helped a few people, this doesn't mean that you have to turn this into a business. And of course, you're just doing it because of the satisfaction of helping others. And that's noble as well. And it's also something that can make you feel good about yourself. Thanks for listening and supporting this podcast. And make sure you're clicking the like and subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe, be well, and don't forget to be the best version of you.